For me, it's also quite shocked about the results because every year in the past, the conservative parties must be the winner. They have the illegal ways.
This is obvious violence towards the election, but I think the results are surprisingly good. Yeah, I hope that the results can really help the government to understand more how we think.
And not very big progress. I'm not quite believe about the pro-democracy parties because in the history they betrayed us many times, especially in the moment which is very emergency or urgent. In the past election, I vote not justified. And this year, little young girl candidates came out. I chose the young candidate since my district was keeping only one candidate in before nearly 20 years. I hope that she may bring some energy or something changes for my society.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think people nowadays are most likely want the youngsters to go inside the legislative council because they really think that the future of Hong Kong are really related to the youngsters, right? So I think it's a good beginning of how we fight for the freedom and democracy.
But it's still good that the step is moving forward. It seems that everyone is clad in dream and everyone is awakened. In 2014, protesters in the front line who were the more aggressive attacking the legislative council, peaceful protesters will say, oh no, don't do that, and they just isolate with them. But in this year, no matter you are peaceful or the aggressive one, we do not isolate each other and we stay together. For example, for me, if I go to the protest and maybe I belong to the aggressive those, but in the daily life, I will also do what the peaceful protesters do. For example, shop, especially only the yellow shop, people will not blame each other anymore. I think it's more cohesive for the protesters. Maybe the government will try to compromise for the 5 demands, maybe 2 or 3. Of course, I hope that the people will not accept the offer. Some people may think that you also need to compromise, and then I believe that if the protest is the end and without universal suffrage, Beijing will keep invading us and even more harder.
Hong Kong is sort of showcase of one country, two system to Taiwan. It's also a warning to them to remind them to vote for their president. I think it becomes really a tsunami for the democracy right now.
The protests in Hong Kong also enlighten some people, not only in Asia but in the world. China is trying to use the money to make you to compromise or to invade to your country. It depends on you whether you want the money or your country's value. For me, I of course choose the values because the values is more important compared to the money.
First joined the protest on the 9th of June, the biggest one, the largest one. I want to tell the government that we have that belief and also desire to change. At first, this protest is legal because they have the letter of not objection. So, okay, it's legal for me to go and join. But then, even though they let us to go to the protest, they still use force. They want us to go home anyways. Like, nothing happened, but they still shot tear gas, and also they try to arrest them because they said, oh, it cut it short already, but then you guys still sitting there. This is unfair and it's unreasonable. So I started to join some so-called illegal protests.
Especially now, statements of the police, whether it's legal or illegal, is not important anymore. And even they came inside to the private area to court the people. I will not use the word arrest because I don't think it's justified. It's not justice. That is definitely invaded to the private properties and the private assets. LIHKG is a forum for the protesters to use at the beginning to spread the message. For example, what time will the protest begin and what protest in this week or this month will have. After I went to the protest more and more and become more front, and I find that the LIHKG form is not enough, and then I started to use the Telegram. The Telegram is very fast and instant. I get inside the magic ministry. For Hong Kong people nowadays, magic is used for describe the gas oil bomb, and because it's illegal word to use online, people use the word magic to describe it. And of course, the magic ministry is the place where the magic comes from. There is the how to create the magic and how to use it. What is the best way to cast the magic? Channel that disclose so-called black cops all their personal information. Some of the police may be the white cop, and they do not agree what their colleagues do, and that's why they disclose the information to let the society punish them. It's the real punish. For me, I think that is very important to effective.
At first, most of the people don't agree with this method because it's sort of revenge on the police, because maybe they still think that, oh, some police are still good, but then they found out there's no possible way to punish them or even arrest the bad ones. So slowly they support the way how people disclose their information on internet. For me, I think I'm so typical Hong Kong people. Now I will look for yellow shops who support the election or even support the democracy.
There is online e-shop to hire the people who is the protesters and lost their job. Many Hong Kong people supporting them nowadays. Even for me, I want.